We're here with Elijah. What's your last name?
Barfoth.
Elijah.
Yeah.
Top 4 of this Misty Mountain case tournament. Let's get into it.
I played Dinos today. I just play this deck pretty much all the time. So like, I'm just playing like my own version of the shit. So we're playing 3 Overraptor, obviously. We go through the fucking basic shit. I'm playing 4 babies. That's a little different, I guess. Not everybody's playing 4 babies. And then I'm also playing Pankratops main deck. Some people don't. So this is like all the standard shit that I'm playing, that everybody plays. I'm playing a small scrap package because I think the scrap stuff's broken. I don't know how people don't want to play it because this shit lets you play through like there can only be one and lets you like build some kind of boards versus Lancey and shit. So like it just makes the deck a little bit better. Gamma because people just be lacking. They always want to fucking troll you. They want to ash your shit, bro, and then you just gamma them and then they just get fucked up.
Yep.
I'm playing the True King stuff. The True King stuff's really good this format. It's the reason I'm playing the 4th baby too, because
you get the DP at the extra deck, right?
Yep. So his effect lets me, if I use 2 Earth monsters to summon him, I can rip 3 different monsters out of my opponent's extra deck. So if they're playing DP, I get to rip that out. Or if they're playing, I don't know, like I get to rip their Zeus out or their board breaking cards out of their extra deck. And then I also get to know what they're playing, so I can set up my board accordingly. So like if they're playing like a trap deck, if they're playing a trap deck, I can set up with like a Tornado Dragon on my board if I want. If they're playing a graveyard deck, I can just make the Dweller safely because I know that their deck is weak to it. And then I'm playing the D-Hero package because this shit's just fucking nuts.
Bro, you played the Ultra? You crazy. How many times did you draw this?
I drew this motherfucker way more than this.
That's crazy. Because you got the rare.
Yeah, this too, bro. I've been drawing this all day too.
That's wild.
But that's okay because we got some shit for drawing drivers. So obviously, consistency cards. Consistency is key. And we're also playing 3 small worlds. This card's like super nuts in this deck because it's essentially like it feels like a silent cyanite mining for your deck, where you just get rid of any shitty monster in your hand that's not like a starter. Like if you have a loose Archosaur that doesn't have a baby to pop or a dead Tyranno in your hand, you can just turn it into your Overraptor baby combo, or you search for Misk if you already have that stuff going on, and then it just makes it's just so much easier. This thing also lets you search for, it's a good way to search for Pankratops going second, and I'm side decking a Kaiju, so you can search for that off this card too. Like super easy. Obviously,
and you don't have to play any funky bricks either to get to like your whole
No,
deck,
I don't.
right?
Yeah, I don't have to play any funky things other than what you already play in the deck, but. The other thing you can do is sometimes you search for Lithosagem off this if your hand's like double babies and just like nuts, and then they just don't even need this card when you search for the Lithos off the small world. But this card's really good. So the field spell package is this: 2 Lost Worlds, set rotation, and terraforming. It's the same thing. You just want to be able to get to the True King guy to rip their extra deck if you're going first. And obviously Lost World is good with like Overraptor and stuff and Scrap Raptor. Generic stuff that I'm only playing 1 Fusion Destiny because the reason that I'm playing the DPE stuff is really just because after the Dinos make the board, if I'm going first or second, after I make the board, and then we grind a little bit, I like having this Celestial draw and DPE recursion to grind a little more than Dinos normally can. And you don't really want to draw Fusion Destinies after you resolve your thing, because like you just like really want to draw like a couple few playable cards if they can break your board with like a Dark Ruler or something. So then you can just be like, all right, well, you broke my board, but I'm just gonna do this anyways, and then they just lose. Call buys feels probably mandatory in this deck because you just can lose hand traps sometimes. And then I'm playing 2 Solemn Scoldings and an Imperial Order in the main deck. It's like I said, you're trying to go first. These cards are all good against droplets and Dark Ruler no more. So if you draw these, you basically feel like you just never can lose to those cards game 1. You just set up your whole board, have these set, and then it's just like they really can't do much when you have the trap cards.
How many cards in the main deck?
I'm playing 45. The reason that this deck is fine playing 45 is because
you have like the 9 consistency cards.
Dinosaurs inherently plays like a lot of like you would consider like bricks. Like I know some people consider like this and obviously the Dasher and shit bricks. But like Dinos also have like inherent bricks of cards you don't want to draw like these 2. you don't really want to draw these in your opening hand either. So like playing the higher density of cards is just better because you don't draw all these cards in conjunction with each other as much. Because like drawing one of these is fine, but like when you draw multiples of these, it's just not good. But Small World fixes that problem too, because Small World just turns any of these brick cards in your hand to the Overraptor or the Scrap Raptor or the Misk or whatever you need. And you're playing like a higher redundancy of consistency cards with the 3 Fossil Dig, 3 Small World, 3 Pie Prosperity. So like it just like the deck actually feels more consistent at a higher number than it does at a lower number, because you just have less chance of drawing as many bricks that you're playing. For a side deck, we're playing 3 Drolls. Drolls like nuts this format. Lancias for like the PK shit, because you want to try to stop them from scything you as fast as possible, and I guess mirror matches, but nobody really plays this deck that much. So 3 Dark Rulers for when you go second. It's just nice to just have a 1 card that can just break their board, and then you can just deal with the other cards that they have in their hand and stuff. I'm playing 2 Token Collector. It doesn't come up that often where I'm playing against Sword Soul and I go first, because I side one of these and going first, because sometimes if you have Lost World, you can combo with this. Like if I have my hand is Lost World, baby this, I can go summon baby, give them a token, special this, pop the token, and then trigger a baby in deck and then just combo on them. That doesn't happen that often, but it's a reason to play this card over other cards against Sword Soul. And then obviously when the Brave shit comes out, this card's going to be way better. The Dogoran, because it's searchable off the Small World and off the Overraptor, and it's just nice to out individual cards, and being able to out DPE for it so not to be able to come back is nice too. Then Twins, because Scythe and shit, and then this because there's a lot of people that are moving towards shit like Sky Strikers and stuff right now, so I just want the actual hard board wipe to draw going second. And then extra deck, tokens and shit. Extra deck, we're playing this for you kind of brick, and then you have to do this to get your Pill Alive. You don't really summon this Secure Garden as much now with the way that the deck is set up currently. What are the other things that you pretty much always play in this deck? These, playing one of each of these. Playing this because of the scrap shit. So you play the 1 Scrap Wyvern to help break boards. Savage is cool because you can make them because you have the tuner in your deck now. So like there's boards where you can end on Savage and Lagi if you're playing against decks that aren't like monster effect decks like Spell Striker or Sky Striker and stuff like that, where you just want the actual spell and trap negate cards. Obviously this, because Verte's nuts with DP. Then we're playing Gamma, so we have to play Lambda, and the rest of these cards are cards we don't necessarily have to play, but they're like good, like Tornado Dragon and Abyss Dweller. Like I was saying, with Lilith Sagem, these cards become a lot better because you just make them every single time going first against matchups that they're good against. So they become a lot better in that spot. Phoenix is for when we can't summon a Tornado Dragon and we're just trying to play through their board. So like you use Amadorn and stuff to make this. Amaterasu is really nuts in this deck going first. Like if I go first and I don't open Solemn Scolding or an Imperial Order, I just make this because this card lets me summon back my Miscellaneous and put it under like a Lagir or Dolka.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So my follow-up is the DPE, Celestial, and the Dasher effects, him coming back, and then I also have a Misk with a Rex that effect that I can use on my next turn too. So like if they Dark Ruler my board and they answer like this, the UCT, the DPE and stuff on the board, and the Dolka, then I still have a bunch of other plays on my next turn. Like I get to draw 2 cards, I get the Misk to summon back Rex and summon like Overraptor from deck and stuff. So it's just a lot of stuff for them to have to deal with. Omega, because I like Omega with the Gamma stuff, because like if you bait out the Gamma,
Just
like,
hand loop them for 2 real
I just
quick.
like to hand loop for the Gamma real quick to just get this on the board. Or like if my hand's a little awkward, sometimes I'll make this and then just have it sit here for a little bit and be like, well, a little bit of percentage of the time this card negates Nib. Because if I'm just doing plays that are like weak to Nib, like the Scrap combo or something, and then, okay, it doesn't negate it, but it stops it from summoning. You're correct. It doesn't negate it. And then I'm playing Crimson Blader. Crimson Blader you can make with Scrap Raptor and stuff.
Yep.
And it's really good because if you're going second, you can just run over their monster and then their
Lock them out of the game.
DPE doesn't come back, or if they're playing Sword Soul, that shit doesn't come back. And it's just like, it's not as good if people aren't playing, if like everybody's not playing DPE, but like just being able to lock DPE out from coming back is so powerful in this format. I feel like there's something like this is just worth playing. And you have a few extra deck, you have like 4 or 5 extra deck spots in this deck that aren't mandatory, so it's just something I wanted to play today. That's the whole list. Top forward, played against a bunch of meta and just crushed it because this deck is good against the meta right now.
Yep, easy to crack. All right, thank you.